The diplomatic humiliation, the massive chamber of Nexus Prime stretched before Ambassador Alina Vasquez like a cathedral of judgment. 8 different alien species sat in their designated sections, each more imposing than the last. The station itself was a marvel of engineering, floating in the void between 3 star systems, serving as the neutral ground for galactic politics. Alina stood at the center podium, her simple black diplomatic uniform looking plain against the exotic robes and biomechanical enhancements of the alien delegates. Dr. Marcus Chen stood behind her, clutching a data tablet containing Earth's formal request. His weathered face showed decades of scientific dedication, but today his eyes held uncertainty. They had traveled 3 months through hyperspace just to reach this moment. Earth needed those asteroid mining rights, the rare minerals in the Kepler 442 system could power human civilization for centuries. Chancellor Krovik dominated the chamber from his elevated platform. The reptilian being was massive, his scaled hide shifting between deep green and bronze under the artificial lighting. His species, the Saurian hegemony, controlled 12 star systems and commanded the largest military force in the known galaxy. When he spoke, his voice resonated with authority that had ended wars and toppled governments. The human delegation may present their petition, Krovik announced, his forked tongue testing the air. Though I confess curiosity about what these newcomers could possibly offer the Galactic Council. Alina stepped forward, her voice clear and professional. Honorable Chancellor, esteemed delegates, humanity formally requests mining rights to the asteroid belt designated as Kepler 442c. We offer fair compensation and strict adherence to all galactic environmental protocols. High Magistrate Sephora floated above the other delegates, her energy form shifting between blue and white luminescence. The ancient being had witnessed the rise and fall of civilizations, and her wisdom was respected throughout the galaxy. Tell us, Ambassador Vasquez, what capabilities does your species possess that would justify such a significant request? Alina had prepared for this question. We have successfully established colonies on 7 worlds within our system. Our mining operations on Luna and Mars have operated without incident for over a century. We have developed efficient extraction methods that minimize environmental impact. The chamber fell silent for a moment. Then, like a dam bursting, laughter erupted from multiple sections. The sound was alien and unsettling, combining the deep rumbles of the Saurians with the crystalline chimes of the Resonance Collective. Delegate Vorthok of the Centauri Union was the first to speak through his mechanical translator. The insectoid being's compound eyes glittered with amusement. Did this mammal just claim to have mining experience? Their entire civilization spans barely 3 planetary bodies. 3 planets, echoed Councillor Nexura, her blue-skinned form, shimmering with barely contained mirth. We have mining operations on 300 worlds. The Andromedan Consortium alone extracts more resources in a single day than these humans have processed in their entire history. Dr. Chen shifted uncomfortably behind Alina, but she remained composed. She had expected skepticism, but the open mockery was more intense than anticipated. Chancellor Krovik leaned forward in his throne. Ambassador, your species still uses chemical propulsion to reach your nearest celestial neighbor. The journey to Kepler 442 would take your ships. He paused, consulting a holographic display, approximately 400 years at your current technological level. If their ships don't explode first, added Magistrate Tholon of the Silicon Collective. His crystalline form pulsed with orange light as he accessed data networks. I have reviewed human space travel records. Their failure rate is quite remarkable. They seem to celebrate when their primitive rockets merely reach orbit without detonating. The laughter grew louder. Alina felt heat rising in her cheeks, but she maintained her diplomatic composure. Honorable delegates, while our technology may appear primitive by your standards, we have achieved consistent results. Our extraction methods are proven and reliable. Reliable. Vorthak's translator crackled with static that sounded like electronic laughter. These beings still use metal tools and combustion engines. They mine with explosives and crude machinery. It is like watching children play with hammers and calling themselves architects. High Magistrate, Zephyrus energy form, pulsed thoughtfully. I have observed many species throughout the millennia. Most achieve interstellar travel within 5 centuries of developing spaceflights. Humans have been launching vessels for over 200 years and have barely left their home system. Perhaps, suggested Councillor Nexira, we should offer them educational assistance instead. Some basic lessons in fusion technology, maybe elementary gravitational manipulation, though I wonder if their cognitive capacity is sufficient for such advanced concepts. The mockery continued for nearly an hour. Each delegate seemed eager to demonstrate their superiority by pointing out human limitations. They compared human spacecraft to flying campfires and human computers to counting stones. The Resonance Collective delegate created a holographic display showing human technology evolution, with commentary about how slowly they progressed compared to other species. Alina endured it all without flinching. Her diplomatic training had prepared her for difficult negotiations, but this felt more like a performance designed to humiliate Earth's representatives. Dr. Chen took careful notes, his expression growing more serious with each insult. Finally, Chancellor Krovic called for order. The amusement has been educational. However, we must address the formal request. Given the technological limitations and obvious inexperience of the human species, I believe the Council's position is clear. I call for a vote, declared Magistrate Tholon. All in favor of granting mining rights to the humans. The chamber fell silent. Not a single appendage, tentacle, or energy manifestation rose in support. The rejection was absolute and unanimous. All opposed. Every delegate raised their hand, claw, or equivalent gesture. The vote was decisive, 8-0 against Earth's request. Chancellor Krovic's announcement echoed through the chamber. The Galactic Council formally rejects Earth's petition for mining rights. The humans may resubmit their request in 50 years, assuming they achieve sufficient technological advancement to warrant reconsideration. Alina bowed formally. Thank you for your time and consideration, honorable delegates. Earth will respect the Council's decision. As she turned to leave, she heard Vorthok speaking to another delegate in what he clearly thought was a private conversation. Perhaps we should send them some educational toys. Maybe some simple tools to help them understand basic physics. The comment triggered another wave of laughter. Alina and Dr. Chen walked steadily toward the exit, their dignity intact despite the humiliation. The mockery followed them into the corridor, where other alien officials and staff members had gathered to witness the spectacle. Once they were safely in their assigned quarters, Alina activated a quantum encryption device. The small device hummed to life, creating a secure communication field around them. Did you record everything? She asked Dr. Chen. Every word, every gesture, every insult, he replied, his voice tight with controlled anger. The quantum recorder captured it all in perfect detail. Alina nodded, and pressed a series of buttons on the device. Priority Alpha transmission to Aurora Station. Authorization code, Silent Builder 77 Alpha. The device pulsed with blue light as it transmitted the message through quantum entanglement, reaching its destination instantaneously across impossible distances. The signal would arrive at a location that existed on no galactic charts, known to no alien intelligence services. Message transmitted, Alina confirmed. Now we wait. Dr. Chen looked out the viewport at the vast expanse of space surrounding Nexus Prime. Somewhere out there, hidden in the dark between stars, humanity's greatest achievement waited in silence. The aliens had laughed at human primitive technology, mocked their slow progress, dismissed them as insignificant children, playing with fire. They had no idea that while they had been talking, humans had been building. Alina joined him at the viewport. They think we're children who barely learned to walk, she said quietly. They have no concept of what we've actually accomplished. 50 years, Dr. Chen mused. They told us to come back in 50 years, when we might be worthy of their attention. Alina smiled for the first time since entering the council chamber. They won't have to wait that long. The quantum message had been received. Soon, the galaxy would learn that humanity's greatest strength was not their technology or their weapons, but their ability to work in silence while others talked. The aliens had spent centuries perfecting their speeches and political maneuvering. Humans had spent those same centuries perfecting something far more valuable, the art of building the impossible. The revelation of Aurora Station, the quantum beacon's signal traveled through folded space, arriving at its destination in less than a nanosecond. Deep in the Kuiper Belt, beyond the reach of even the most advanced alien sensors, a massive structure received the transmission. To any external observer, the region appeared to be nothing more than a collection of dead ice and rock, drifting in the cold emptiness between worlds. The reality was far different. Director Sarah Mitchell stood in the command center of Aurora Station, watching the decoded message play on the central holographic display. She was a woman in her 50s, with silver-streaked hair and eyes that had seen the impossible become routine. Around her, the command center buzzed with quiet efficiency. The walls were lined with quantum displays showing every aspect of the station's operations, from atmospheric processes to the massive construction bays where humanity's future was being assembled. They laughed at us. Elena's voice echoed through the chamber. Complete rejection, 8-0. They consider us barely evolved mammals playing with primitive tools. Admiral Carlos Torres stood beside Sarah, his weathered face showing no emotion. He had commanded fleets through 3 different conflicts, but this was the moment his entire career had been building toward. The same old story, he said quietly. They see the surface and think they understand everything. Chief Engineer Yuki Patel looked up from her workstation, her fingers still dancing across holographic interfaces. The young woman had been born on Aurora Station, part of the first generation of humans to grow up among the impossible technologies they had developed. Director, all systems show green across the board. We're ready to proceed with full activation. Sarah nodded and walked to the central command chair. Through the transparent aluminum viewports, she could see the true scale of Aurora Station. The structure stretched across nearly 400 kilometers of space, its biomechanical surface rippling, with energy conduits and quantum field generators. 5 million humans lived and worked within the station's rotating habitat rings, their lives dedicated to pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Activate the Cascade Protocol, Sarah commanded. Let's show them what children can build when they put their minds to it. Throughout the station, systems that had been running on standby power for decades roared to life. The quantum cores that powered the massive structure pulsed with energy that would have been incomprehensible to the aliens who had dismissed humanity. Zero-point energy taps reached into the vacuum of space itself, drawing power from the fundamental forces of reality. The station's true form began to reveal itself. What had appeared to be random debris fields suddenly realigned into geometric patterns. Massive habitat rings, each one larger than most alien cities, began their slow rotation. The artificial gravity systems created Earth-normal conditions throughout the structure, while atmospheric processes maintained perfect environmental conditions for human life. Engineering reports ready, Chief Patel announced. All quantum drives are online. Consciousness interface networks are active. Molecular assemblers are at full capacity. Admiral Torres moved to the tactical display, where the station's defensive and offensive capabilities were mapped in three-dimensional detail. Fleet status report. All 2,000 ships report ready for deployment, came the response from Fleet Command. Stealth systems are active. Quantum drives are spinning up. Weapons systems are charged and ready. Sarah activated the station-wide communication system. Her voice would reach every human aboard Aurora Station, from the scientists working in the quantum laboratories to the families living in the residential sectors. My fellow humans, the moment we have prepared for has arrived. Today, the galaxy will learn what we have accomplished in the silence between stars. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Throughout the station, humans stopped their work and turned toward the communication screens. Children in the educational sectors looked up from their lessons about alien cultures. Engineers in the construction bays paused their work on impossible technologies. Families in the residential areas gathered around their personal displays. For 75 years, we have worked in secret, Sarah continued. We have pushed the boundaries of science, engineering, and human potential. We have created technologies that would be considered impossible by the very aliens who mock our achievements. Today, we show them what humans can accomplish when we work together toward a common goal. The quantum laboratories throughout the station hummed with activity. Human scientists had long ago surpassed the technological achievements of their alien counterparts, but they had done so quietly, without fanfare or boasting. While the aliens had stagnated in their superiority, humans had revolutionized the fundamental understanding of reality itself. Dr. Elizabeth Reeves, the station's chief scientist, stood in the primary research facility surrounded by technologies that would have amazed the Galactic Council. Quantum computers that could process information faster than light, matter compilers that could create any substance from base elements, and consciousness interface systems that allowed direct human-machine interaction. The irony is beautiful, she said to her research team. They think we're primitive because we use chemical rockets to reach our moon. They have no idea that we've been using quantum drives for decades. We just chose not to advertise the fact. The construction bays revealed the true scale of human achievement. Massive ships, each one a masterpiece of engineering, waited in perfect formation. These vessels incorporated technologies that the aliens had never even theorized. Quantum shielding that could deflect any known weapon. Gravity manipulation systems that made their ships impossibly maneuverable. And consciousness-guided targeting systems that responded to human thought. Captain Maria Santos stood on the bridge of the lead vessel, a ship called the New Horizon. The vessel was beautiful in its efficiency, every line and curve optimized for performance. Its quantum drive could cross the galaxy in days, while its defensive systems could withstand the combined firepower of the entire Galactic Council fleet. All ships report ready for departure, she announced to Aurora Station Command. We await your orders, Director Mitchell. Sarah looked around the command center, taking in the faces of the people who had dedicated their lives to this moment. Admiral Torres, with his tactical expertise earned through decades of strategic planning. Chief Patel, whose engineering innovations had made the impossible routine. Dr. Reeves, whose scientific breakthroughs had revolutionized human understanding of the universe. The aliens told us to come back in 50 years when we might be worthy of their attention, Sarah said. I think 3 days will be sufficient. She activated the fleet communication system. All ships, this is Aurora Station Command. You are authorized to proceed to Nexus Prime. Show them what humans had built while they were talking. The fleet moved as one, 2,000 ships emerging from concealment with the fluid grace of a choreographed dance. Their quantum drives created ripples in space-time that would have been impossible to detect with alien technology. The ships were not just faster than anything the Galactic Council possessed. They were invisible to their sensors, undetectable by their monitoring systems. As the fleet departed, Sarah turned to the viewport and watched them disappear into the quantum foam. Each ship carried the hopes and dreams of humanity, the culmination of decades of secret work and preparation. The aliens had laughed at human primitive technology, but they had no idea that humans had been building the future while they rested on the achievements of the past. Director Admiral Torres said quietly, "There's something poetic about this. They think we're children playing with fire sticks. Instead, we've been quietly mastering the fundamental forces of reality." Sarah nodded, watching the last of the ships vanish into quantum space. The best builders work in silence. We've been building for 75 years. Now it's time to show them what we've accomplished. The quantum communication system activated, connecting Aurora Station to the departing fleet. Captain Santos's voice came through clearly. ETA to Nexus Prime, 72 hours. The galaxy is about to meet the real humanity. Sarah smiled, thinking about the shock that awaited the alien delegates who had dismissed Earth's representatives. They had no idea that while they had been perfecting their speeches and political maneuvering, humans had been perfecting something far more valuable: the ability to turn the impossible into the inevitable. The silent builders were about to reveal their masterpiece, **.